Yo, let's keep it real. We out here keeping it real. It's your boy Marvo.
It's your boy Lorenzo.
And we got a special guest with us today.
It's your boy Kelvin, keeping it real.
And today's topic in this episode, we'll be talking about money and relationships and how money impacts relationships in various ways. So let's start off with this first question. Who should pay for the first date? Who wants to take it off?
I'm going to take it off. I'm going to say, obviously, the guy's got to pay for the first date. I mean, it's the first one. Tradition. The guy has to do it.
Okay.
I mean, there could be both sides to this sort of question because I feel like it depends on who asks who out on the date. So if a guy is asking the girl, I feel like it's important that the guy pays. And if the girl's asking the guy, I feel like she should pay. But going away from that, after the first date, I feel like it should be equal and both parties should pay, in my opinion.
See, I feel like it's a bit of give and take. Like, if you're really interested I think for the first date, the guy should pay. And if the woman offers to split the bill, I think that's a good sign. But you shouldn't let her sort of split the bill, you should pay. And then thereafter, depending on how much trust eventually builds up in that relationship and what the sort of level it is, then you decide how we're going to split the bill and who pays for what and that sort of thing. But I think in the first few stages, the guy's got to sort of, have that little bit of dominance there when it comes to sort of paying for it. Maybe that's not the word I'm trying to use, but yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up the fact that sometimes the woman might be willing to offer, and I feel like that's just a way of her testing you to see if you're really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes girls might use that as a test. They might use it as a test to do that. Yeah.
You can tell sometimes they don't really want to pay.
Like they're hesitant. They're hesitant with bringing the purse up. It takes like 2 minutes before it comes out.
That slow draw,
Just go and see who's trying to really pay for it and who's not, and make your decision from there. Really.
Yeah. But obviously, don't take too long to pay in it. Like, you just gotta be,
Don't act stingy as well. Don't be like, don't be looking at the toll for a long time before you try and
exactly.
And don't it's all about your facial expressions as well. Keep a straight face when the bill comes to you.
Don't be doing what we do if you go shisha, just looking at the bill thinking, oh, what is that?
Yeah, that's a bit of a madness. So you just gotta just be calm about it when you get the bill, pay for it. That's what you should do on the first date. And then I think you think about that for the next 2 dates after that, and then from then on, see how the relationship progresses. If there's a future to it, then you see about splitting the bill. And she might even come up and say, "Oh, I'll pay," and that's fair enough. But the thing is, let's talk about the limit. How long till the guy realizes that he's paying and she's not paying at all? How long does he realize that we should actually split the bill?
Soon, literally. Couple of days. If you think this is the one, it's got to be a mutual thing.
You say a couple of days?
Yeah, a couple of days.
Into the relationship?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I feel like it's mutual. You got to let me know, if I'm taking you out and you want to come out with me, boom, money doesn't grow on trees.
That's true.
That's true.
Both you have to share.
Especially if you're young as well.
Yeah,
you might still be at uni and stuff. So money is a bit hard to get. So if both parties are sort of coming in and trying to pay together, it just makes it a lot easier to meet up. Because clearly you both want to meet up as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so what if, one of the partners...
But hold on, before you go on to that, I feel like when it comes to the first date as well, you don't really want to do the big dates, like sort of steak dinners and stuff. Just keep it simple.
Nando's.
And then, Nando's or just...
that's true. If you're a guy and you're on a budget, don't start, going to, the Ritz or something, or, these fancy restaurants, Nobu, or any of that.
Yeah.
Make it simple. If you're not comfortable, if your paycheck does not live up to it, then, take it
some
to
guys,
a relatable place, a common place.
They like to go all out and show the girl that they're really up to something.
Because sometimes the girl just appreciates just going out and someone taking them out and spending time with them. And then some girls appreciate that.
Exactly.
Obviously, if the girl's after, a nice restaurant is appealing, but if that's all she cares about, then she's not the one for you.
Yeah, she's not the one.
So it's all about just take her to like a regular place, pay for the first date. After that, then start to think about, you know, how we're going to sort of split this. You know, we can't just sort of keep relying on me.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, let's put this into the mix here. So what happens if one of the partners is earning money? Well, let's say the other partner doesn't earn any money at all. What if one of the partners is earning money or earns more than the other partner?
Yeah.
So in that situation, and he's paying for the dates.
Who? The person that
earns more, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be good long term.
Yeah.
Short
So you
term,
can't split it. That's the thing.
Yeah, short term, I can see as in like he could have lost his job or could not have any money at the time. So if it's just short term, I would say yeah, keep doing it but tell your partner obviously, look, it's not going to work if it's just me paying all the time because like he said, money doesn't grow on trees.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, just let him know.
Yeah.
That
But what if that person really loves that other person that doesn't work?
Yeah, but I think even with love, there has to be certain boundaries that you need to set.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be a walkover. Like, you can't let people walk all over you. Because that's what usually happens when you're in love.
I think that's from a guy. If a guy's doing that, you'll be coming across as a nice guy.
Hey.
You see, that's not what you're trying to be. You know, it shouldn't. If you're like trying to buy that person's love and affection, that's not going to look good on you in the long term. A woman don't find that appealing as well. So you got to like state your boundaries, state where you draw the line in terms of like how much you're paying for dates and stuff, what you're paying for and stuff. But if your partner's not earning more than you, or she doesn't earn anything at all, or even let's say if it's the woman's case where she's earning more than the man and he's not working, then just make sure that you're going on dates by your means.
Exactly.
Don't start going to expensive restaurants and going to desserts restaurants after the main restaurant, that sort of thing. And make sure that you pace yourself in terms of the dates as well. But
yeah, and even after you've been on a few amount of dates, just I feel like there should be an understanding where you can just say to your partner, look, you know what, money's a bit short right now. Maybe you can just go to like a park or chill near a river, just enjoy nature a little bit more because spending time with nature is free anyway.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. There's many free motives.
Just free motives. That's another thing. Yeah, if you're worried about money, just go to a free motive. Just go to a park. Go to like.
I mean, your local area definitely has a nice river, a nice park.
Yeah.
And its weather's quite good at the moment as well. So it's good to spend time with, and that way you can really tell if she's really into you or if she's just into your money as well. Because if she's willing to come on free sort of dates with you, tells a lot about her or him.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say as well is, you know, when you go to these big restaurants, are you really comfortable when you're sitting there in these big restaurants, looking around, thinking, "What am I doing here? Would I be here with my boys? Would I be in this restaurant?"
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Would you go over with your boys just to like, you know, see like
with some dead portions, like
that's
you're gonna go out and you're gonna go home and eat again.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Tell me about it. Yeah, that's true.
Go somewhere you're comfortable. You're both comfortable, and you don't need to go to some big restaurant. It's pointless.
Exactly. And I think like you've got to sort of think about that when, let's say for example, you're living with your partner and the relationship's at that advanced stage. You know, you can't keep going to these sort of restaurants as well. So you got to sort of draw the line there.
But I feel like if you're living with your partner, you would have already been through that sort of mutual understanding.
Yeah.
So you would know by this time, like.
But you'd be surprised that some people still carry it on. They still go on dates and stuff, but
it's not a sustainable relationship, is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, yeah. I mean, moving in it's a big thing.
I was just gonna segue into that actually. You know, yeah. So like, money in relationships. Should you move in, right? Early stage of the relationship. All right. Let's throw in a scenario. You two, you're living with your parents or whatever, and you two want to rent or looking to get a mortgage. Should you do that at very sort of, let's say, a year into the relationship, 2 years into relationships?
It's too young, man.
I'm assuming that these people are quite young as well because they're living with their parents, but
right.
Everything needs to be set up. You need to be ready for everything. Living in is a different ball game, man. Being at home, you have everything set up for you. Now you want to go live by yourself in a young relationship. Nah, man. I don't think so. I feel like you need to know the person inside and out before you even commit. I feel like that's the intermediate stage before getting married, something like moving in.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna think, wait, is this the right person? Nah, you need to be thinking before you move in, this is the right person, I'm ready.
Exactly, yeah. I feel that's a very intimate thing when you decide to move in with someone and sort of share your personal space, your personal living space with that person. So I think like in the young stages of relationship, I don't think that's an option.
Mm-mm.
But let's say maybe further down the line.
I think, considering you said...
And let's think about the financial side of it as well.
Yeah, well, you said these people are quite young. I don't think age sort of matters in this situation. I think it's more the amount of time you spend with the person and getting to know them. And I feel like at least a minimum of 3 years should be spent together before you even think about moving in.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So you get to have that understanding that person before you move in with them. But
1 year is just
too young.
Yeah, too young.
Too short, yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. But what I'm trying to sort of hit on is the financial side of it.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you're renting or mortgage or whatever, sorry, you're splitting the monthly, expenses between you two.
Mm.
And that's a big commitment. So let's say if you want to leave that person wants to leave you further down the line, where's your security there?
That's why you get a joint bank account. You don't go rent a place in your name or whatever. Don't go and buy a place or mortgage a place on your own name. I feel like you gotta go and make your own joint bank account. Put your money in there. You pay everything in that joint account.
That's fair enough. But let's say, for example, one of the partners wants to move out. You've got that joint bank account. Now they want to get whatever money they put into the mortgage.
Now, before you go into that, actually, I want to address one point. So I feel like even if you spend sort of 3 years together and you feel like you understand the person, I don't think I think a commitment is not really as good as something that's on like on paper, for example. So you could think like, I've been with her 3 years and I feel like I know her inside out, and it's probably the one to move in with. But to avoid things going wrong, I feel like both of you should be put on the mortgage, so that way if one of them wants to leave.
Okay, let's ask this question here. 3 years into the relationship, should you get a mortgage or should you rent? Common sense would tell you get a house, get a mortgage. But if you're with a person that you're not too sure of your outcome, shouldn't you just rent instead?
I think a mortgage isn't everything anyway, man. It's just a lifelong debt, pretty much.
Trust me,
so
that's
you don't
it.
really need to be
But
thinking.
with rent, you're wasting a lot of money that you could be investing in a house, which could be yours at one point.
But think about it, you'd be wasting that money anyway if you were living with parents. Obviously, I know not all parents would ask for money, but you have to pay a certain amount there. And like, you're splitting it with that person anyway, so it's an expense, but that's like, it counts for utilities.
No, but surely, if you're trying to move in with them, you're thinking of the long-term future, and you don't really want to be renting for the long term. You want to think about...
I mean, like, you want that experience.
It's not bad, I don't think it's that bad. Like,
actually, what you could do is you could start off with renting at first.
Yeah.
Do it for, I'd say, 1 year, 2 years. See how it goes. And then if you feel like... Because moving in is a big responsibility as well. Now, all the cooking, cleaning and stuff all adds up, So after 1 year, 2 years of renting, if you feel like you're comfortable, I feel like it's right to think about the mortgage.
But see, like, there's also the argument here where, like, you won't really truly know a person until you move in with them. So, like, until you move in with them, you know their habits and, like, what they're like, how they are around the house and that sort of thing. Because you might be, like, just meeting up with them, going on dates, but you're only seeing one side of them. But when you move in with that person, and you see another side to them, and then... So, I mean, then you realise, maybe this person isn't for me, so that sort of thing. So you don't want to get a mortgage straight away, you want to just like rent for a little bit.
I hear that,
You know what I'm saying about the mortgage as well? You don't know about your career. Why would you rush to get into a mortgage when you could be moving around all over the place during your career?
Yeah, to be honest, because you said these people might be quite young as well. So you might not even want to live in the country that you're in forever. So getting a house in that country might not be the right option for you, because you might end up moving to a different country. So I'd just say keep it simple. Date them for few years before you even think about moving in, and then when you want to move in with them, just rent it at first for 1 or 2 years, and then when you feel like you're ready, take the next step.
It's fair enough. Okay.
But make sure she's the one for you.
Yeah, like you got to ask yourself, is that no, it's just not just like
You've got to be constantly
guys'
thinking.
perspective, yeah. Or even like women as well. Like,
Yeah.
is this person that you're moving in? Would you eventually marry that person? That's what you got to think about.
But you see, I mean,
you might not want to marry that person, but would you actually, if you had to, would you actually?
I feel like I'm coming across a bit biased, but it's because I'm a guy. I can't really, address that side of it. But
can you speak for yourself?
Yeah. But women as well, it's the same. Like, be with the man for a long time before you even think about taking a serious route in the relationship. And yeah, what goes to a guy goes to a girl as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Comes back to the paying for the date. You guys got to share it. Definitely.
Yeah, I see, yeah, man. Okay, let's look at another type of relationship, yeah. Let's say a married couple. Okay. Now, what's the financial sort of situations that could impact that?
Like you said earlier, if one party is working and the other's sort of unemployed,
yeah,
that could put a strain on the relationship because she or he might be paying for everything and can't really work like that because it's like a commitment together. So,
see, I think if before you marry someone, you got to make sure they're employed or they're earning a good amount of money. Because I don't think that's fair. That one of them's coming into the marriage with a certain amount, they're earning, and the other person's doing nothing. I think it's got to be sort of equal, especially in this day and age. It's got to be equal.
Equal what?
Like in terms of pay, yeah, income. Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah, I feel like
I highly disagree.
I wouldn't say equal, but like close. Like there should the difference between the gap shouldn't be.
I don't think that should be an issue because there might be a guy or girl out there for you, and they are definitely there for you, but they might not be, sort of earning the money you want them to earn. But just because they're not earning that sort of money doesn't mean that you shouldn't be with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, but let's flip it, right? Okay, let's say the woman is earning more than the man, but the man's not.
As long as the other party who is sort of below you or is sort of trying to improve him or herself, then I think that's very important. As long as they're not trying to stay where they are, and they're trying to improve in every aspect of life, I feel like you should give them a chance.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the partner's responsibility to try and better the other partner. Ultimately, you're like the best of friends, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, you can't be like, oh, you know what, I like you a lot, but because you're not earning as much as me, I don't want a relationship with you.
But maybe I'm thinking about too much in the future. Like, let's say divorce rates are quite high. Maybe sometimes marriages don't work out. Now that person that's earning less than you, or probably isn't not even working, you get into a marriage with that person. A few years down the line, you want a divorce. They're getting half of what you're getting. So if you're the breadwinner, they're getting half of what you're putting in.
I feel like if you're thinking of that before you marry, you're not supposed to marry the person in the first place.
Yeah,
right? That's not what you're going into marriage for.
True, but I mean, you got to think about that sort of thing as well. Like you have to also think about how you're covering yourself. Maybe
get the prenup then.
You could get a prenup, yeah.
But then marriage. If you're gonna get a prenup,
you shouldn't get married.
You shouldn't get married.
So what's the moral out of this? Like, should the person get married at all in terms of looking at finance? We're trying to give the best advice here.
Oh yeah. So what you're saying is,
money's not
if one party's earning a lot more than the other, would you think about marrying them? It's a tough one because it could work out for some people. It could not work.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say I'm not talking about when I say the gap, it's got to be a very considerable amount. Like, let's say that person. Okay, for instance, the man is earning about 50,000, woman's only earning about 17,000 a year.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Or she's not even working, she's working part-time, doing that sort of thing.
Then you help her get those soft skills, those hard skills that she needs to get into a high-paying job. It's all about bettering each other, isn't it, in a relationship?
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, people make mistakes. Some people make mistakes when they're young. So as you're growing up, as long as you're trying to make the right decisions and trying to, better yourself, I feel like. But if you're marrying her and she's earning very low amount compared to you,
Yeah.
and she's not sort of trying to improve herself, then I feel like something could go wrong in the near future. Because she's comfortable with where she's at, and because she might just be in it for the money,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
because she ain't really seen what you've seen. Because what you can do with your money, she can't.
Yeah.
So she might be, you know, willing to just be with you because you've got that sort of money.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
I feel like if she's trying to improve, it's worth a chance.
And on that 17k salary, she can also contribute in little ways towards something. Like she could pay a little bill here, TV bill here, internet bill here.
Yeah, it's fair
You know
enough.
what I mean? She could contribute in a tiny way. If she was pushing to do something, as was previously mentioned, then yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing. You got to sort of address this before you marry that person. It's all about finding who's right in that situation. Maybe like for me personally, I'm keeping it real here. Like I'm looking at it from a very like common sense point of view. I'm using a lot of logic behind it, but like I don't like as a man, like it's hard to sort of what's the word, like justify things with emotions. You have to look at it from a logical perspective, but maybe people are not always like that, you know. So like I feel
I feel like with stuff going on in society right now as well, people tend to overthink it when it comes to like things like marriage, and that could have a negative impact on it as well, because you're not coming from a sort. Nah, I'm being honest, man. You're not coming from a that's like the right point of view. Because you're trying to.
you lost it, fam.
I was coming to it, but you made me laugh, so I forgot what I was gonna say. No, what I'm trying to say is a lot of negativity. If it's in your mind before you get married, I'd say object against the marriage because it could go wrong in the future.
Communication is key, man. Got to express all the stuff that's in your mind before all that happens, before you can make that commitment.
And like we said about the prenup, I think you can't really say to your wife when they get a prenup. It just doesn't sound right.
So like I think with anything, like even people just don't like to talk about money in general, especially like when it comes to marriage. So
I feel like Marvo's the kind of guy who's always gonna think about a prenup. To him, I would say, and to you guys, whoever's thinking of a prenup, I would say, don't get married.
Exactly. That's
maybe like I'll keep it real. Like maybe I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a young guy. I ain't looking to get married at all. So maybe that will change later on. Who knows? But right now, I don't want to get married. So from my perspective, I can tell you the advice that's gonna sort of help you out. You know, back you out as an individual. But maybe people don't look at that way. So that's why, you know.
I've actually got another question for you, lot.
Go on.
Would you care about the value of the wedding ring that you're giving to your girl?
Oh, that's a good one.
Isn't a wedding ring just a symbol of love?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I'll explain that a wedding ring is a symbol of eternity with that person, you know. Whether you get an expensive one or not, I feel like it depends how you look at it. Some people have perspectives. I've got a story about a married couple, and they were quite young when they got married. The male, he wasn't earning as much, and he gave his wife a wedding ring, but it wasn't expensive. It was quite cheap, probably not even like real like gold or silver
or platinum.
Platinum, yeah. And now like they're doing pretty well. It's like 20 years down the line, they're doing pretty well. They've got a nice house, they're earning really like well, but she still kept the ring because it reminded them of their struggles when they came up.
Now that's what I call true love, man.
That's it.
That's true love right there.
That's it. So ladies, don't expect your man to give you too much, especially when it comes to the wedding ring, If he's giving you a wedding ring and it's like the best that you can get, then accept it and appreciate it. Because that's the best that you can afford right now. And then when you look back 20 years down the line, you can see like, you know, this struggles, you know, reminds you of the struggles that you came up together.
You can be like, 20 years ago I had the bronze, but now you see me, I've got the gold blinging. Yeah, that's true. It's like, because a couple that struggle together, and they make it together,
Yeah.
is a good couple. That shows
Yeah,
like
that's it. Take risks and prosper, isn't it?
Yeah.
that's my motto for you as well. I always been telling Marvo from day one, take risks and prosper. Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But also, if a guy is willing to go on one knee
Yeah.
to sort of, propose to a girl, I feel like that says a lot about him as well. And the value of the ring shouldn't really matter. Unless if you can get if you have a lot of money and you can afford to give a good ring, then by all means go ahead.
Yeah.
But if you can't, just keep it simple, keep it real. And on that note,
Yeah, I'd like to finish off, yeah.
you'd like to finish off? I had one more question.
Did you?
Come on, one more question.
Quick one. Yeah.
No, actually, we'll end it here.
We'll keep it real, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys,
Obviously,
for listening, yeah.
like I said last time, we don't want to bore you with too much content. Obviously, it's gone. What was it gone over? 20 minutes?
I don't even know. I can't tell from this right now, but
Okay, yeah. So we'll keep it short for today.
yeah, that's fair enough.
And then, at the end of it, we want to finish off saying, before you move in with someone, be with them at least 3 years.
10
Get
years.
to know them. Before you think about marriage, be with them at least 5 years.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years. And start off by renting the place. See how it goes. See how it works out. And if your girl or guy is not trying to better themselves, keep them away from you. Try and find better company. And on that note, it's Lorenzo finishing it off. Have you got anything to say, Kelvin?
Nah, I'm finishing it off there, man. I'm keeping it real always.
Yeah, it's like to say big shout out to Kelvin coming with us today,
Yeah.
giving his views and points. And
he's going to be making an appearance in many of the episodes to come.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
Because he's got a lot to offer, just like me and Lorenzo, Marvo have. And on that note, we'd like to finish it here.
Yeah.
Take it easy, keep it real,
And keep it moving.
and we're out.
So.
Yo, it's your boy Marvo. If you like what you heard, please drop a like and comment down below. Subscribe to us to keep up to date with future content. We'll be dropping a video every week. Further on in the series, we'll start taking questions from the public. So if you have any lifestyle questions or if you need of any advice, hit up the email address on the screen right now. I'm out, and we'll keep it real for the next time. Stay tuned.